Palestinians in the occupied West Bank have held a major celebration. They're hailing the return of President Mahmoud Abbas, who was in New York last week attending a UN gathering. The UN General Assembly upgraded the Palestinian status at the world body to that of non-member observer state.
The Palestinian president has returned home from his historic trip to the United Nations to be greeted by jubilant crowds in the West Bank. After the General Assembly in New York granted Palestine non-member observer state status, Mahmoud Abbas promised to restart the process of reconciliation between the Fatah and Hamas Palestinian factions. He said that the vote was a de facto recognition of Palestine, but there was a warning about the Israeli response. Now we have a state, he said. Palestine has succeeded in something historic at the United Nations. The recognition of Palestine as a country changes everything. It highlights new realities. But he went on, we must be aware that your victory has provoked the forces of war, colonization and occupation. President Abbas carefully avoided naming Israel specifically, realizing that there are also voices in the country that oppose, for instance, the policy of Jewish settlement building on land the Palestinians consider theirs.
It's been a long road and we've been under enormous pressure. But we have persevered and we have won because you have succeeded in making the world hear your voices.
On Thursday, the 193-member International Forum voted overwhelmingly in favour of a resolution recognising Palestine as a non-member observer state. Palestinians have been celebrating their international victory after only 9 UN members, like Israel and the US, voted no. But Israel remains defiant. Its government has since authorized the construction of 3,000 new homes in East Jerusalem and the West Bank.
Plans have been announced to build 3,000 new Jewish settler homes like these in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem. A statement issued by a UN spokesman on behalf of the Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon gave a stark assessment of the situation. It said, "It was with grave concern and disappointment that the Secretary-General learned of Israel's announcement of 3,000 new settlement units. It would represent an almost fatal blow to the remaining chances of securing a two-state solution." Earlier, the Israeli cabinet officially rejected the UN General Assembly vote to recognize Palestine as an observer state. It said it wouldn't make this month's transfer of tax revenues that it collects on behalf of the Palestinian Authority, and the position on new building developments was made clear.
Mahmoud Abbas travelled to the United Nations in New York, defying both the US and Israel. Now he's returned for his moment of glory, and with a real achievement. Palestine is recognised as a state. This is sure to boost Abbas's popularity, and he needs it, as does his party Fatah.
Yes, now we have a state. The acknowledgement of Palestine has changed many facts on the ground and establishes a new truth.
Fatah's political rival in the Gaza Strip, Hamas, is growing stronger. And this week, the leader of its political branch, Khalid Mashal, plans to travel to Gaza for the first time ever. But Israel has been quick to punish the Palestinians for going to the UN. On Sunday, the Israeli government announced it was withholding $120 million worth of tax revenues it collects on behalf of the occupied territories. It says it will use the money to pay the debt the Palestinian Authority owes to an Israeli electrical company. It also announced it will build an extra 3,000 homes in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. And perhaps most controversially, Israel says it will start the planning phase to build 1,000 houses in an area called E1.
The cabinet on Sunday voted to reject the UN decision to recognize the Palestinians as a non-member observer state.
The Palestinian Authority's one-sided step at the United Nations General Assembly constitutes a blunt violation of the agreements that have been signed with the State of Israel. Therefore, the State of Israel rejects the United Nations General Assembly's resolution. I wish to say again, there will not be a Palestinian state without an agreement to ensure the security of the citizens of Israel. There will not be a Palestinian state until the State of Israel is recognized as the state of the Jewish people. And there will not be a Palestinian state until the Palestinians announce the end of the conflict.